Shifting gears, former Michigan State star Adrian Payne was shot and killed in Orlando, Florida, early Monday morning, the Orange County Sheriff's Office said. And Payne was the 15th pick by the Atlanta Hawks in 2014, played 4 seasons in the NBA with multiple teams. In 2018, he was waived by the Magic after he was named in a report by ESPN's Outside the Lines that he'd been involved in an alleged sexual assault at Michigan State in 2010. No charges were filed in that case. Prior to playing in the NBA, Payne was a member of the All Big Ten second team in 2 of his 4 seasons with Michigan State.
So that happened. Malika Andrews, while announcing the death of former basketball player Adrian Payne, felt it was necessary to bring up what I can't even call charges, what I can't even call convictions, because if he was never convicted or charged, I'm not going to go as far to say that she essentially brought up some hearsay rumors, because he did talk to the police. But at the end of the day, we're talking about something that happened back when he was playing for Michigan State. He was in the NBA for 4 years by the time this whole thing was even brought up. Before it was even brought up and brought before anybody, he was in the NBA 4 years. Like this was nothing. No charges, no convictions. This was nothing. But she felt it necessary to bring this up while announcing his death. And keep in mind, he's no Kobe Bryant, where the ESPN is going to stop for like 72 hours when Kobe Bryant died. No, this is Adrian Payne, a 4-year NBA player. They gave him 1 minute. So in his 1 minute where they were announcing his death, she felt it necessary to bring this up. Never mind the fact that he died protecting a woman who was involved in an abusive relationship. She's not going to bring that up in his death, but you're going to bring up some allegations. No charges, no convictions, just allegations that really amount to just a step above hearsay rumors from when he was in college. You're going to bring that up in his death while not mentioning the circumstances in which he died was protecting a woman. And it's not the first time that she's unnecessarily done that. She did it with the Boston Celtics' new interim head coach.
Old. And we'd be remiss not to also mention that Mazzulla was arrested twice at West Virginia, once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault. He pled guilty, paid a fine, and then again in 2009 for domestic battery after an incident at Morgantown Bar. The domestic battery case never went to trial. It was settled in August of 2009. He paid a $100 fine and court costs plus.
Again, bringing up something that happened when somebody was in college that was handled and settled by paying a $100 fine. A $100 fine. But in the case of Adrian Payne, when we look at this, how can we not look at this any different as would some major media, mainstream news organizations get accused of when, for example, a black man is unjustly taken out by the cops? And everybody can agree that it was unjust, but you see it sometimes on the news, they will bring up his completely unrelated criminal record. Everybody agrees for the most part that that is a racist thing to do. And I think ESPN, they do try to do a decent job of weeding out racism in the whole works. They try to do that. And I'm not the one that makes who complains a lot about racism and all of that. But ESPN, they do their thing when it comes to diversity and weeding out things like that. But what they don't realize with all the women that they've brought in, there's misandry floating around. And it's happening from a black woman onto black athletes. And that's floating under the radar. So if everybody can agree that that's wrong, why is it that people are having a hard time seeing that what Malika Andrews is doing is wrong? What is the overwhelming difference there? When I was looking at the comment sections of the original video, you see comments like, Malika, I thought you were better than that. This man is dead and you're bringing up BS that he wasn't even charged for. Y'all females are out of pocket nowadays. That did not need to be said. Now, this is the interesting part, because someone else is responding with, you acting like she wrote the script. you know she's not responsible for what comes out of her mouth. Leave Malika alone. ESPN forced it on her. And there's lots of comments like that. Like they don't want to believe that she's acting alone. That she does Rogue One missions with that stuff. Call it into Stephen A. Smith show. That was a Rogue One mission. You could tell by the reaction when she tried to throw the Boston Celtics new interim coach under the bus. The way everybody reacted to it, it was a Rogue One mission. Dropping Kendrick Perkins off the panel, that was a Rogue One mission. That she's acting alone here. She has a bit of power within the framework of the shows that she's hosting. She controls what comes out of her mouth. Nobody's manipulating her. Just stop trying to snatch the mask off the wrong Scooby-Doo villain. That's not what's happening here. Now, the worst thing about it when it comes to her throwing Adrian Payne under the bus and bringing that up in the time of his death, bringing up some sexual assault allegations, the man died protecting a woman from domestic violence. That's what he died from. He died intervening to protect a woman. But the first thing that she's going to bring up in this man's death is some assault charges or some sexual assault charges that of which there was no charges. And I'm incorrect in saying charges. There were no charges, there were no convictions. When there's no charges and no convictions, the situation is just a step above hearsay. A step above hearsay rumors. And she brought that up in the time of his death. Malika Andrews needs to be stopped. I'm going all the way there with it. Break out the pitchforks, tiki torches, full witch hunt mode. I'm on it. But yeah, so I'll be doing more content on this. And I've touched on this, not on the Adrian Payne situation, but moreover, just the unhostile takeover of ESPN. I did a show on that, did a video on that recently, and I'll have more to come on this. So stay tuned.